Hi guys, it's Paul here from the Sydney Tea Shop. Today I'm going to talk to you about tea. So did you know that all tea comes from the same plant, the Camellia sinensis, but there are different varietals that are grown all around the world on every continent. So there are four main types of tea that are drunk around the world: black tea, oolong, green and white tea. Depending on the processing method, depends on what type of tea you end up with. So white tea is actually the least processed. Usually that's just harvested and then sun dried. That gives it a very delicate flavor, but also very floral. Green tea, a little bit different. They will harvest that, but they'll actually roll it to create a small amount of oxidization, but usually cut that off straight away, using either steaming if you're in the Japanese area, or pan roasting if you're in the Chinese area. That gives either a really seaweedy umami flavor for the Japanese style, or more of a creamy flavor for the Chinese style. Oolong teas follow a very similar process, but they allow a small amount of oxidization to occur. That's actually going to give a really wide variety of teas, somewhere from very close to a green tea to actually quite close to a black tea. This is my favorite type of tea available. With black tea, they allow that oxidization process to really continue, turning the leaves a really dark black color, which is what you're very used to. The oxidization process is actually the same thing as when you chop an apple in half and it starts to go brown. So the different types of tea provide a really wide variety of benefits. Black tea has the highest amount of caffeine, but has the lowest amount of antioxidants. Whereas moving over to the white tea, that's the reverse. Highest amount of antioxidants, but the lowest amount of caffeine. So if you're after those healthy antioxidants, white teas and green teas are a really great option. But if you want that afternoon pick-me-up, or you've just woken up bleary-eyed, I'd definitely go for a black tea. Tea actually has a very different caffeine structure to coffee. Tea has a slow release caffeine, so when you drink that, it's actually going to set you up for the whole day and you won't get that 3 p.m. crash like you do with a coffee. That's why I usually drink a cup of it in the morning, another one in the afternoon. That's going to keep me going all the way through. The different varietals of tea and categories actually need different brewing conditions to get the most out of it. So white tea, you only really want to brew around 70 degrees. Green tea, 80, oolongs 90, and black and herbal, you're fine to use boiling water. If you don't have a temperature controlled kettle, I normally add a small amount of cold water to your teapot and then add the boiling water on top, then add your tea leaves. As long as you're not putting that boiling water onto your green, white and oolong tea, you're not going to get that burning bitterness that comes through from over steeping. Here at Teetotaler, we focus on loose leaf tea. We think that provides the best cup and experience, and it also means you can rebrew for at least a couple times, getting that full flavor coming through. We use different types of teapots and infusers, but really the best way is just whatever is easiest and works for you. As a rule of thumb, we normally say 1 teaspoon for a regular sized cup. Add the correct temperature of water depending on what type of tea you're brewing, and then brew it for 2 to 3 minutes. Once you've done that the first time, you can kind of adjust the variation to see how you like it, a little bit stronger or a little bit weaker. But this is going to give you a really great cup of tea. Did you know there are also different ways to brew tea? So you can cold brew it, or you can make it as a hot tea and put it in the fridge and create an iced tea. This is great during the summer months. You can spice that up with a bit of soda water, but you can also add some fruit juices for some natural flavoring. Because we use loose leaf tea here at Teetotaler, we find it's a lot more sustainable. You're not creating that extra wastage from tea bags that a lot of the time actually contain plastic. Here we just use a teapot and a cup, tea and hot water. You're going to get the best cup of tea that way.